Hello, Husky fans. Welcome to this week's episode of UC Sports. Along with Ryan Panny, I'm Alexandria Palmer. What updates do we have, Ryan?
This past weekend was family weekend at UConn, and the students and their families were treated to a number of intriguing games to attend. From soccer to field hockey, the action was immense.
Let's get this show started. UC Sports starts right now. We begin our show tonight with the UConn Field Hockey team. The Huskies had two big games this past weekend, looking to bounce back from their first loss since 2016. They started off the weekend with a 3-0 win over Providence. Goals came from Collins, Gooderheim, and Piper, and the team was headed back to Swords looking to build a new win streak. This past Sunday, it was senior day in Swords playing 5th-ranked Princeton. The Tigers scored early, leading the Huskies 1-0. No more goals were scored during the half, but as the next half started, Princeton scored early once again. UConn was able to answer back and get their momentum going with goals from Savea Boker and Antonia Tidka. Unfortunately, it was not enough to pull off the win. The final score was 5-2 Princeton, and this is the first time UConn has lost 2 regular season games since 2014. The good news is that the team went on to win the national championship. The Huskies will host Villanova on Friday, October 12th.
This will be a big game for the Huskies, as they will look to regain their form, heading into the final games of the season before they start the Big East tournament. Moving to the ice, the UConn Huskies hockey team opened up Hockey East play this past Saturday on the road in Vermont to take on the Catamounts. After a scoreless opening period, senior captain Jamie Foxx netted a power play goal with 16 minutes left in the second. The Catamounts returned fire to take the lead at halfway through the final period, where the Huskies scored 3 unanswered to capture the third straight victory of the season by a score of 4-2.
Perhaps one of the only bright spots of the weekend for UConn sports, the men's soccer team remained perfect at Joseph J. Maroney Stadium. The Huskies were coming off a tough game with Providence that was eventually called off due to inclement weather. UCTV's Noam Waugh and Malik Sneed were at Maroney Stadium this weekend and have the coverage from the pitch.
The UConn Huskies men's soccer team opened up their busy October slate Saturday night as they hosted Cincinnati. After a frustrating first half that saw UConn outshoot the Bearcats 13-3, the teams entered halftime tied at 0. But the Huskies broke through in the 56th minute as Abdu Bakijam got past the defense and drove it past the goalie. After the game, we caught up with Abdu to talk about how he benefits from his teammates and the home field advantage the Huskies have here at Maroney Stadium.
It means like everything, because like the difference between like UConn and other team. Every time we hear, at least like we have like 4,000 people like coming up every game. I think like that makes a difference like every time, because like every time we try to sleep, they wake up.
Later, Cole Venner lasered one in the 79th minute off an assist by Dylan Greenberg. It was Venner's first goal of the season. Then, Stefan Yeats got away on the breakaway and put the nail in the coffin in the 89th minute with his first career goal. After the game, Yeats spoke about the importance of this first goal.
Well, no, I'm very excited to have scored my first goal. You know, it helps me build my confidence going to the next games, to hopefully score more and even create more goals for Abdu and other players who are attacking.
A strong defensive effort helped goalie Austin Aviza post yet another shutout.
I mean, it's everything. It's mostly on the defense. Just we played well the whole 90, so it's just good to keep it compact back there and not give up anything.
The Huskies return home on Tuesday night to play host to Sacred Heart. They look to improve to 6-0-1 here at Maroney Stadium. From Maroney Stadium, I'm Noam Watt, UCTV Sports.
Staying hot with 2 conference games this weekend against New Hampshire and Holy Cross. When we return, we have our football coverage team who were down in Memphis here to break down what they saw on Saturday. Stay tuned.
against the wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, you're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay.
The UConn football team headed down to Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium in Memphis in front of a lively homecoming crowd, hoping to pull off the road win against the Tigers. Sadly, once again, the Huskies could not get it done.
It was the same story for the UConn football team here in Memphis tonight. The defense struggled and the offense was lackluster, leading to a 55-14 Tigers victory. Memphis stormed down the field on the opening drive, capping it off with a 44-yard strike from quarterback Brady White to Joey Magnifico. UConn responded with a touchdown drive of their own, using 17 plays and nearly 8 minutes to find the end zone. The Huskies converted 5 third downs on the drive, capped off with a 4-yard scramble by quarterback David Pindell for a touchdown. However, Memphis answered with another score, with Darrell Henderson punching it in. Henderson and fellow running back Patrick Taylor devastated the Huskies on the ground, combining for 335 yards and 6 touchdowns, as the Huskies' defense once again failed to contain and tackle the Tigers' offense. Randy Edsall emphasized patience with his defense in his post-game presser.
We're not big enough, we're not fast enough, we're not strong enough. Again, this is all the process that I've talked about that we have to go through. And until we can get bigger, faster, and stronger, and more athletic, and more speed, this is what happens.
Meanwhile, UConn could not do much offensively after their opening drive success. Xavier Scott converted 2 long third downs on screenplays, finishing with 82 total yards from scrimmage. Pindell would find the end zone through the air for his second touchdown of the game, but would also throw 2 interceptions, hurting the Huskies' cause. The team has a bye next week before they head down to Tampa to take on the University of South Florida. From Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, I'm Jake Ferrari, UCTV Sports.
Joining me now is Jake Ferrari, who reported the game in Memphis on Saturday. Jake, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Jake, what were some of the issues that caused the UConn to lose their 3rd straight game?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the defense once again let the Huskies down. We're really witnessing history right now. Unfortunately, it's the wrong side of history. The Huskies are on pace to become the worst scoring defense since 1918. That's 100 years, if you want to do the math out. I mean, 600 yards again. The game was over by halftime. It's the same story every week. And Randy Edsall said in his post-game presser that it's a process and that we got to be patient. But I feel that at some point you have to become accountable for yourself because you know the abilities of your players. So now as a coaching staff, you have to adjust to how they play because it's unbelievable just watching running backs go untouched into the second level on the majority of running plays. It's bizarre, to say the least. And I understand that they're young, but these guys are so good athletes. They were recruited here because they're good athletes, and these are Edsall's guys too. We're not talking about Diaco's guys anymore because that was the excuse last year. We're talking about Randy Edsall's guys, the guys that he wanted, the guys that he brought in. So he has to find a way to make adjustments to save this team from further embarrassment.
Like you said, with Coach Edsall and the players talking about the process, do you see any positives in this game that they can build off of for the future?
Well, they looked really good on the first drive after they let in a touchdown. It was a 17-play drive. They converted 5 third downs. It was very impressive. Pendel made some great throws, and he has definitely been the one bright spot of this team. But, you know, usually college teams, they script the first few drives. Now, I don't know if they scripted a 17-play drive, if that was their entire script. But you got to be able to make in-game adjustments after that with the offense. And we didn't see that again today. But it's hard to blame the offense because you're down 30 points in a blink of an eye, and so then you just got to start taking chances, taking shots, and you don't put up right stats. Like Pendel threw 2 interceptions, but he just got to heave the ball down the field at some point. You got to take risks. But they did look good on the first drive, but that's been the story throughout the entire season. They've looked good on the first drive, but they haven't been able to do anything after that. So they need to find a way to adjust and be consistent throughout the game. Yeah,
I mean, it's just been terrible for this team, and it's not great for fans to sit there and watch them lose
it's tough.
time and time again.
It is tough.
Well, Thanks for joining us, Jake.
Thank you.
The Huskies will get a much-needed break as they head into their bye week. After that, the team will head down to Tampa, Florida to take on the USF Bulls on Saturday, October 20th. That's all for this week's show. We'll be off next week as many of us head to Philadelphia for the AAC Media Day, but we'll be bringing you great content from Philly. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at UCTV Sports and subscribe to our YouTube channel, UCTV Channel 14, and follow us along our journey at Media Day next week. For Alexandria Palmer and the crew, I'm Ryan Panny. Just no Jake Ferrari.